last night, 20,694 paid. There were at least 5,000 fewer human beings than that number in that park last night. There could not have been 15,000 people there. It's one of the smallest crowds I've ever seen in that ballpark. As a matter of fact, in terms of regulation draw, the 20,694 is the second smallest home crowd of the year for the Giants. They drew 20,039 back in May against the Colorado Rockies. That was a Monday night. Last night was obviously a Monday night. A lot of kids going back to school this week. I think is a part of that as well.
Most of the public schools went back yesterday.
Yeah.
So that,
Yeah, so I'm sure that had, a bend on the overall, attendance. But man, that was about as sparse a crowd as you have seen in there, and especially with Mad Bum being on the mound. I was a little taken aback by how few people.
I'm not sure that I was, only because there's 6.5 games out of the wild card when the game begins. They've been mediocre and uninteresting most of the year. Arizona is even more mediocre and less interesting than they are. And it's a Monday night. Madison Bumgarner's greatest moment as a Giant is now 8 years old. I mean, kids are in third grade at that age. So it's been a long time since he was that guy. So I'm not that surprised by it. The Giants fan base is now very much an event fan base. It's not a, hey, game tonight, gotta go fan base. They are, like most fan bases, really good at front running.
It's not a, hey, big game tonight kind of a baseball team either. So it's just...
Well, that's what I mean. It's hey, let's go see if the Giants can get a game over 500. That's not a ticket mover.
Situational entertainment. It's pretty much what they can provide. We're brought to you by BMW Fairfield, now open in the Fairfield Auto Mall. Over 400 Google reviews. They've got the highest Google rating in the entire Bay Area. Go find out for yourself. Visit bmwfairfield.com today and book your visit. I know you're going to like it. So, what is situational entertainment? Right now, it's really the best the Giants can offer, and to their credit, like they're actually doing it. The situation that they put themselves in is it's not the best situation. But here they are. They're still mathematically alive with, 5-6 weeks left in the year. Is that what we're kind of down to here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think it might be 7. Well, it ends in the middle of a week, so look, I think it might be 7 games. They trim a game a week. They're in.
They have won 7 of 9 games, which if you're going to start trimming about a game a week, you got to do it by winning 7 of 9 games. They go from left for dead and playing a manner of baseball that leaves no doubt that they ain't going to be a contender one week to actually showing a pulse the next. If the Dodgers are a perfectly tailored suit, like they totally nailed the tie, the cufflinks, the shoes, the belt, like it's perfect. And the Padres are, pulling off that business casual look really well. It's an open sports coat over a pair of jeans, but you're just crushing that pocket puff. You look easy breezy, leaning up against a yacht or something. Like you're pulling it off. Like J. Crew is even like, nice job. That's what the Padres are. The Dodgers are a tailored suit. The Giants are basically overalls. I mean, they really are. The Giants are overalls. They're no fashion at all. They're just pure function. And the function that they need to do just selfishly, and this show obviously only looks at sports through the prism of selfishness, what we really need the Giants to do is just get us 4 more weeks of still in the conversation baseball. I actually think that they can do it. They can stay in the conversation. Will they end the conversation on a happy note? I don't know. But can you be our functional overalls that we all agree? We're like, it was at least the right thing to wear as we were getting dirty before we toss them in the laundry pile. Or, the Giants are actually going to become like the lucky pair of overalls that you refuse to take off. So it's going to be one of two things. I don't think they're going to completely fall apart. It's just not in their DNA.
They're kind of an old polo shirt with khakis. Overalls tells me, yeah, you're the Tigers, who just fired their general manager and probably going to fire A.J. Hinch at the end of the year. That's overalls to me, because I imagine overalls with shirt optional. And that's not by any means a good look in any situation. To me, they're an ordinary team. Just wearing ordinary clothes, if we're going to extend your analogy. They're just nondescript striped polo shirt, kind of faded khakis, and just regular sneakers.
They look like me, basically.
Well, no, they look better than you. But no, that's all they're nondescript. If you walk down the street wearing that, nobody would notice you at all. You'd be invisible.
Right. You're not going to stand out because you're poorly dressed. You walk down the street
in overalls, yeah, somebody fell off the truck.
Somebody says, if they're Carhartt, though, then they are fashionable. What, Oshkosh Bagosh is just for kids? They don't know. Is that not a thing anymore? I don't know. Do the overalls hit lefties well? Fantastic question. Thank you very much, Comcast Business Text Line. Look, it's a baseball team that is going nowhere fast, but they're still in the conversation. Situation by situation. Have a good homestand. Then what do you do on the next road trip? Then what do you do when you get back home? It's like they got all these little mini-series built in here, and they got to start winning almost all of them. Again, they got to go, if you assume it's at least 87 wins to get in, that means they got to go 29-18 the rest of the way. 29-18 isn't some breathless clip of baseball. It's not like overwhelming, but it's 600. Good. Yeah, it's good baseball.
Yeah, you're a playoff team if you play 600. That said, they're not going to play 600. They're going to look like they are really good for the next couple of weeks, and then they're going to have to push the piano up the muddy hill again for 2 weeks.
Their playoff odds are about 4, 5, 6%, depending on where you're looking, what computer's spitting out the data. Lamont Wade Jr., what do they got going for him? Well, Lamont Wade Jr. is starting to hit the long ball just a little bit. 4 homers in his last 8 games now. They're going to get an awful lot of Diamondbacks and Padres before it's all said and done. And look, the one bright spot that I told you about a couple weeks ago kind of remains a bright spot.
Line drive, left field, up against the wall. 2 runs are going to score. It'll be a single for Joey Bart.
And that's a 3-hit night for Joey Bart. It's going to happen sooner than later. He's going to start climbing up the lineup.
Look, he had himself a 2-run single. He had himself a double. He went 3 for 4 last night. He is now hitting .290 at home, believe it or not, on the entire season. That's not a split other than home or away. He's hitting .290 at home, so you can make the argument he's been comfortable there all year. It's on the road where he's really struggled. He's overall hitting .233 now on the year. This is the same guy who was .093 in the month of May. So that is huge improvement now from .093 in the month of May to .233 overall on the year. He is hitting .328 over his last 30 days. Over his last 2 weeks where he's been dealing with a sprained ankle, the guy's been hitting .452 with 2 home runs, only 6 strikeouts, the bugaboo of his at-bats. So he's improving. There's your good news. Let's see how far this slightly better than overalls, you're probably right, faded dress shirt and khakis is going to take him.
By the way, last night's crowd was not only the second lowest of the year. If you take out the 2 COVID years where they had 1 year of no attendance and the other one of very limited attendance, that's their second lowest crowd ever.
Wow.
So this is not a team to be, this is not a town to be mediocre in, period.
And 1 game over 500 at 58 and 57. I mean, that goes to lunch with mediocre, and they split the pab right there. So that's who they are. Yeah, they're going Dutch.